Well, it was firstly I would bring you back to 2000, where I actually decided to stop and retire from badminton. It was a huge decision, but anyway, my age was at that time the right time for me to stop, and I tried to draw myself in the sense, what should I do? And quite clearly it came to me that I should try to do something else besides, well, badminton has been my life, I know that, but I want to try to distance myself from that time. So I actually ended up having a job in the Danish tele company TDC, where they were sponsoring me. So I started actually in their marketing area. For 3 years I was there, and then supportingly as well the badminton by being the kind of a young national coach. I was doing a bit of coaching at that time. Then I actually was persuaded to go into the consultant business, and I was joining a group, and that was very interesting. I learned a lot, and after 3 years that group was splitting up, and I continued with kind of psychology based. So I got very much into the cognitive world of psychology, where I actually felt that I was really relating to my practical scenarios that I've been dealing with my time as a player. So I was coaching a lot of people, not only business people but also actually sports people, and that was quite interesting. Then I started my own business, and within a short while after, I was contacted by actually the biggest football club in Denmark in terms of member-wise. It was a Copenhagen-based club, and they were asking me if I was interested in being their kind of CEO. And I said yes to that, and I was there for 3 years, and that was very, very interesting to actually have a feeling of another sport, understanding another sport, and a team sport. I mean, I've been used to do a lot of individual sports, so that was a great inspiration, I think, as well. Then I was asked to be CEO for a handball club. Handball is very big in Denmark, and I'm still in the club. In that sense, I have actually tried to distance myself, and slowly I came back to the sport. And politically, actually, I was involved during the time of my work-wise jobs. I was then, not appointed, but elected as vice president of the Danish badminton, or Badminton Denmark, which is called now. And I was there for a couple of years, and then I was asked to be, in 2010, I was asked to be president of Badminton Europe. So actually, this timeline to what it is today, I mean, going on to be hopefully re-elected in April for the presidency of Badminton Europe. And then we will see what will happen in KL, where we are, 3 campaigning to be president for the Badminton World Federation, which also I feel, of course, is a very interesting job to do. Definitely the difference is that a team that needs to work together in order to bring up the level which are needed, it's more kind of a complex situation where, I mean, you can have maybe 2 or 3 persons that are not really focusing on what they're going to do this time on the field. And even though that those 2 are maybe not focusing, they can still win. I mean, if you look in badminton, if you as a person, as a player, are not focusing on what you're going to do, definitely you will count instantly on the situation where you will in fact make mistakes, or you will actually lose a couple of points, or maybe 3-4 points, and you could lose the game because you are not focused. So I mean, that environment is definitely very much different. You can then also have a situation where an injury all of a sudden on one of the good players will change completely the whole group. The psychology behind how the group is performing is definitely very much in line of how some key people in in the group are actually working. And I sensed that was actually quite interesting to see and to follow. So that is the difference between individuals and team players. And I also think maybe a key thing as well, when you are winning as a team, it brings you so much kind of a joy and happiness, because you are together, you share this emotional thing together with the whole group, and therefore it means much more to you compared to if you are a single player and well, you are winning, good, you can clap on yourself on your shoulder. So if you're not sharing the victory with other people, you can end up feeling quite alone after actually have been having a victory. So that is the dynamics and the differences about being a team and an individual sports person.
Of course, you have the Sediment Cup and Thomas Cup and mixed championships, which brings a little bit of that team spirit.
It does. You also have the leagues that are actually a very strong concept in Denmark, and it appears to be also picking up in India and in China as well. And I think that concept of being a team and that feeling that you also have Thomas Cup, Sediment Cup, Uber Cup as well, actually is one of the things that players really cherish, I think. I feel that after 2010, when I was elected, I could definitely see that there was a lot of potential. We have 51 countries. There's a lot of differences between the countries. I mean, in respect of the smaller nations, just having a possibility to build a hall where you can play badminton in, that is a great achievement in some of the smaller countries. In that sense, you have to look into every area, every aspect of understanding the situation of your countries, your member associations. Having said that, I also interestingly could see that there is some kind of a difficulty on the highest level, how we can actually operate together. Denmark is very much strong in the sense of organizing themselves, and England as well. We have strong nations, but maybe sometimes to get them together and talk, well, can we have a general organizing situation where we can share, where we can contribute together. I saw that as one of the greater achievements for me as president, and maybe that is very difficult to get in place on the highest level. So I will focus on the junior level, because I do believe that we need to cooperate. If we should actually be able to beat the Asians sometimes, I definitely think that Europe needs to have a more cooperation attitude, and especially I think in the junior level we can do that. So that is an area that I want to focus on. So actually what we did was to do a strong strategy setup where we are measuring ourselves in the 3 Ps, as we say, so everybody understands what we are doing: participation, publicity, and performance. So those 3 Ps, we are actually really trying to tell each other that this is the important area. So, and I try to measure that every time. So in terms of participation, we want to have more people play badminton. That's kind of obvious that you have that interest. And our shuttle time, which are definitely also from BWF, we are cherishing very much, and we want to spread that out. I think it's very important that we get the schools much more operational, and then by our coaching education program, which maybe needs to be tuned a bit. I do believe that we can also get the PE teachers to also contribute as well. So I hope for the future that we will see a development of our sports in Europe, and picking up some ground, because in the end what we hear from our member association is it would be vital for us to have badminton shown in television much more than we actually are able to see it now. So one of the bigger aims, I think, will be to focus also how can we get badminton on television. I think it is definitely something that is very important because if we cannot get on television, we have to reach out to our member association and say, well, we can contribute in the sense that you can actually watch the tournaments through our web TV. And also, I mean, I think we should definitely use the media much more than we are doing or we was doing. So we are focusing on that area, and we want to actually also invest in that area. Say, well, this is one of the key areas. Also listening to our member association. So that is the focus. Well, I think that we can do good. I think we have talented players, and we can develop badminton. I think there's a structure coming in, also not only from, you know, in the past Denmark and England has been very strong, but now also Germany is picking up. France is coming just behind, and I think other countries actually are also doing quite well. You see all of a sudden Spain producing high quality players. So in that sense, I really feel that we have a window that is open right now, and if we can contribute, especially focusing on the juniors, I think we can come up with the players and the quality of the players that are able to compete on the highest level. And well, just thinking about the setup, reaching 10,000 practice hours before you become an excellent player. Well, those 10,000 practice hours needs to be with quality as well. And we want to focus on how can we bring in, how can we contribute with the quality. And that's the essence of how we can actually contribute for the nations, bring in some high-level coaches as well to contribute on the group of players that actually would like to play badminton on the highest level. And I think actually there's quite a number of young badminton players that actually want to do it. They invest time, and if they invest time, the mindset, of course, are there to try to be as good as possible, and that mindset we need to back up. I definitely think it's very good. In my view of how to develop badminton, I think it's actually quite vital that we also see development and achievements from other countries, and you can actually see how Germany are organizing. You can see now the youngsters from France are coming up, and that is not only being done in 1 year. This is a long-term investment. So actually being able to feel the success, I cherish very much, and I support very much. And I think it's very important that we have more nations that actually are doing well. So in that sense, I think it's very positive, and we shouldn't stop that situation. Also thinking of what is the potential. In Denmark there's 5 million people, and the potential of course is there to have a strong structure of badminton. But in other countries there are maybe millions of people, and the potential getting more badminton players from France, from Germany, is very much open, and I think we should definitely open our arms and say, well, this is great, can we do something in terms of contributing as well on a level, so that we maybe get inspiration from high-level coaches, gather the best juniors. I think that is what Badminton Europe can do. There was definitely a long consideration. I was very clear in supporting Dr. Kang, who is the present president of Badminton World Federation. I think he did a very good job, and I could see the development of badminton. I mean, not only financially, but I could see a structure that he has actually been contributing with, and his ideas of the philosophy of leadership, I felt that that was a good thing to continue with. So I was supporting him, and I was quite surprised that he then in December decided not to carry on for another term. He felt that 8 years was enough, but of course in his heart badminton will still be part of his, well, very close inner side of the heart, and that is very good, I think. Then there was an open discussion. What I did was I was contacting the president of the Continental Confederations, because I will bring you 2 years before, I felt that there was a strong need that we were talking together, that we discussed the matters, what is going on in Europe, so that Oceania could understand the European perspective, and also Pan America could understand, and Africa, so that bringing into the table what ideas maybe could be of interest for all of us, and we could put forward to the BWF, so that they also could understand that, well, these are the ideas coming from the Continental Confederations, and that actually was a success. So what I did was I was getting in contact with the Continental Confederations and discussed this matter, and we agreed that there should be some kind of a structure, because otherwise it could be a big mess for the election period, because everybody should be re-elected or be left out. So it actually could end up be a completely new organization politically that should run the badminton. That could be both for the good, that could also be for the bad. So I felt there was a sense, there was a need of having a more structured approach to it, and there was support, and people was asking me, why don't you do that job? And I was then considering, took a trip to Asia and have a discussion with influential people from Asia as well. And when I came back, I decided the 24th of January to openly announce that I was also a candidate. 22 years it has been in Asia, so I think it's also good to have candidates from, well, other continents. So let's have an open kind of battle. I like the competition, I'm quite competitive, so I don't mind that. And what is very important for me to say as well is, if I lose, give me 5 minutes after I've lost, then I will be very open and contributing as well. So no matter what will happen, I think afterwards it's very important that we then team up again and try to contribute as well as possible for the good of badminton. I think that's very important. Of course, that aspect, being a player, give me a greater understanding of how the situation is. And I mean, even though that there's been a time where I haven't been very close to the players, it's still within a distance. I mean, 2000 when I stopped, I was very much knowing what was going on, and how I felt the development was going on in BWF, and how the change were needed. And I do believe that it's very important and vital that the players' voice as well is being heard, and that we maybe even will have a stronger focus on this issue. I think, if we don't have the players, we don't have any BWF. And we should actually really cherish the situation that, we have a strong operation, we have a good organization, we are in the Olympic Games, and we are actually doing quite well. And why are we doing that? Well, that's because we have some high level sports people that actually are playing our game and doing really well. And we should understand that. And that is the key factor for me in terms of also then leading and organizing politically the future of BWF. I definitely believe it's very important, and it will be interesting to see who is going to be voted in, and no matter what, I do hope that we will get a strong voice from the players, and that is also very vital, that we as politicians understand and put ourselves into their mindset in order to understand. And I definitely think that I can be contributing with this understanding into our political organization. Well, what kind of man? I'm actually trying to lift myself up in a helicopter to see the landscape, and that's what I actually learned being a consultant for more than 5 years, and do this strategic work in a lot of companies, and that was very interesting. So that mindset I still have, and then putting in place that the mental side of the whole game, I feel I can contribute as well. So my person as it is now is very much trying to see the perspective and try to see the full movement and the dynamics of a big organization. And I've learned a lot from being a player and until now. I feel I've matured. Though I would say I'm not catching more fish in the water. I like fishing, and I must admit that I'm on the same level being a fisherman for a hobby as I was when I actually ended my career. Even though I really enjoy it because my 2 sons enjoy it as well. So in the summertime, when we are on holiday, we always try to find a good spot where we can catch some fish, and we are succeeding sometimes, and other times we are not succeeding that well, but we do enjoy those moments of being together, and when we catch a fish, it's a great story. So storytelling of being a fisherman, how big the fish was, every year it's getting bigger and bigger, I can tell you. No, I really enjoy that. Of course, I also enjoy playing a bit of golf, and I find that as kind of a social get-together with friends as well. So that's some of the relaxing areas. I do play a bit of badminton. I play once a week, and I can still do it. So my knees and my hips are still okay. So I enjoy first half court and then actually full court men's singles, and having a lot of sweat on my polo shirt after the match. I enjoy that, and that's maybe my hobbies, so to speak. And in the end, I would say being a person as I am is a calm person. It's a person that is understanding before actually being direct. I have to be direct in many ways, so I will do that, but I want to understand before I'm direct. So that is my kind of switches, and I think that is important for me to tell that this is how I am.